today. Politics editor for The Root, Jason Johnson, Republican strategist and MSNBC contributor Steve Schmidt, former House Intel Committee staffer and special assistant to President George W. Bush, Michael Allen, and with us from Washington, Mika Oyang, Vice President for Third Way's National Security Program and a former staffer in the House Intel Committee. Steve, I want to start with you and ask you how potentially dramatic Jim Comey's testimony could be in light of what he reveals about what was obviously a sense that these interactions were going to come under scrutiny. For him to walk out of his first meeting with President-elect Trump at Trump Tower in December and start taking notes in his car is a pretty extraordinary new detail.
It is. He was obviously deeply troubled, and I think what's setting up tomorrow is the most consequential congressional testimony maybe in a generation. You have Washington, D.C. bars are opening up early for happy hour tomorrow. It's going to be an extraordinary event. And I do think how unusual it is, and yes, it is unethical. We're a nation of laws. The only oath that the FBI director takes is to the Constitution of the United States. We don't grant or make personal statements of loyalty to the President of the United States. You serve at the pleasure of the President of the United States.
Let me add you, I mean, we all served in the White House, and the oath that you take is to the country, and you promise to be loyal to the country. There's no oath that any of us took to the presidents we served. So what is it about? Is he missing a chip? Is it the ignorance defense again? You said you're willing to go work in this White House. Would you need to know the answer to whether or not the defense to everything he's accused of doing wrong is that he doesn't know the answer, or is it that he's willing to sort of blow up decades of traditions in terms of the independence of the FBI? What would make you more comfortable if you were going to go into this White House?
Look, I think ultimately what is going to have to make us and the media and everyone else more comfortable is what was in his heart when he said these things.
Whose heart?
In the president's.
Why does that matter? If he broke a law,
it matters.
Is it legal to ask the FBI director to back off an investigation into Mike Flynn once he's been...
It matters because ultimately it's in the eye of the beholder. If we're headed towards impeachment where we have high crimes and misdemeanors, Mueller is not going to, he can't indict the President of the United States. That's impermissible under the Constitution. What he would do is write a report to Congress, and you're going to see this in the eyes of the beholder. You either see a man innocently unaware of the norms of Washington, desperately trying to save his presidency, or you see a more nefarious character who is dangling the job over his head, who's clearly cornering the FBI director at every moment. Ultimately, I think it's going to be a political decision, and it's going to matter what else President Trump said to other witnesses, which ultimately implicates this thick executive privilege debate.
Mika, let me